Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for joining me this week. So this week I'm going to be talking about deliberate play and what it is and what it isn't based on a concept attainment activity. So if you're interested in hearing more about what deliberate play is, then please keep on watching. Okay, so I recently read this wonderful book called Hidden Potential by Adam Grant, and he talks about the difference between deliberate play and deliberate practice. And even though there's some overlap in that there is some deliberate practice, which has a lot of feedback in deliberate play, there are some distinctions too. So I'm going to show you a concept attainment. That means that I'm going to show you what deliberate play is and what it isn't, to help you form your understanding of what deliberate play is. Okay, so you can see here, I've got my concept attainment activity. What is deliberate play? So let's have a look at the first item. Deliberate play is intentionally designed activities or learning experiences that incorporate elements of playfulness. And it is not just repetition of skills in isolation of a context. So there is an element of playfulness and there's a very intentional design in terms of the activities. So deliberate play is about an exploration, it develops creativity, and it leads to a deeper understanding of mathematical concepts, right? It is not devoid of deliberate practice, which incorporates a lot of feedback. So deliberate practice is incorporated in a subset of deliberate play, but deliberate play actually has a context and a playfulness as well as feedback. Deliberate play is structured activity that is designed to make skill development more enjoyable and pleasurable. When we incorporate elements of playfulness, it does make skill development more enjoyable and pleasurable. Deliberate play is not monotonous as it is diverse and variable. Sometimes the learning experiences are very open-ended, and so there are going to be multiple pathways and often different answers. Deliberate play really encourages intrinsic motivation. So it's intrinsically motivated type of learning. So there is no kind of extrinsic reward. It's not extrinsically motivated learning, but helps our students to enjoy their skill development, make it more pleasurable because you've incorporated elements of playfulness. And lastly, deliberate play encourages individual growth and progress in one's learning journey. So it's not about competing your learning with other students learning in the class, but whether you have made progress in your own learning journey. And deliberate play should not be confused with gamification only, because a lot of the time gamification has a lot of whistles and bells, as Adam Grant talks about in his book, Hidden Potential. And gamification often involves a leaderboard where learners are competing with others. And I think it's so important when it comes to learning, especially in mathematics, that we're trying to cultivate a love of learning for the sake of learning rather than because they're beating other people. And also to encourage the individual growth, that wherever your students are in their learning journey, they are making progress, and that all your students are going to be at different places along that learning journey. Now, what are some wonderful examples of deliberate play? I love all of the open middle tasks from Robert Kaplinski. Very often there are multiple answers to a very simple prompt. You're using either numbers 1 to 9 and you're trying to fulfill a particular prompt to make that prompt true. So deliberate play really incorporates anything that is open-ended, that allows students to practice skills, but in a context and in a more fun and enjoyable way. Another example for primary school might be that you ask your students to throw 2 dice, and maybe they multiply the 2 numbers together and they keep throwing the 2 dice until they get as close to, say, 100 or 200. So multiply the numbers together on the 2 dice and then have a table that records all of these 2-digit numbers and add those up and see how close each individual student can actually get to 100. So there's a lot of skill development there. There's multiplication, there's 2-digit addition as well. And there is skill development, but at least it's within a context, and that there's an element of playfulness and it's pleasurable rather than just giving out a worksheet that has 100 questions of drill and kill. So, based on my reading of Adam Grant's Hidden Potential and looking at some of the research studies that actually support deliberate play, most of these studies are grounded within the sports field, but actually support the idea that deliberate play really results in a lot more lifelong motivation to continue that particular skill development rather than being bored and demotivated. Thank you so much for joining me this week as we discussed deliberate play. Please feel free to put any comments in the section below. What are some of the examples that you can think of in your own classrooms of what deliberate play could look like? And I'd really love to hear some of your ideas of what deliberate play would look like in your classroom. So thank you once again and see you next time.